Hey guys, so I asked and I received. I asked you to send me any random question that you wanted to know, and I received a few. So I'm super stoked about making my first ever Q&A video. I thought I would dress up for the occasion, and I'm stoked really because I'm surprised. First off, that I received any questions because you never know. Secondly, because I received questions from all of my social media platforms, which like my Instagram, I just started that one, so that was super exciting. And then thirdly, because of the type of questions that I received, like I'm gonna be honest with you, the fact that anyone is thinking about me in that way, or that about my past stuff and still wondering stuff, man, that blows me away in the best way possible. So let's just get into it. Again, since I'm dressed up, I thought I would kind of do this like an interview style, and I don't know what I'm doing, but let's just see how this goes. Okay, so here's the first question. I like your spicy videos. What are your favorite videos to make? The Bad Mikey videos might be my favorite to make, only because, gosh, on this journey where I'm just like going over everything and trying to be a better person, you know, you have to deal with things that people have done to me, and man, that's depressing, right? But just, you know, the silly videos kind of get me out of that. The spicy videos, of course, I love making those too. But the Bad Mikey ones is just kind of like, to me, it's a good balance to everything else, because none of us are just one thing, or I hope that none of us are, right? We can be the bad guy sometimes too. And whenever, each time I've made a video for that, it kind of like, in a way, it balances my life out and centers me. And I hope you guys see that's my attempt in making those, is just to say that, you know, it's not just me being a victim and everything is just woe is Mikey. No, you know, I screw up too sometimes. So yeah, I feel great after I make those videos for some reason. Okay, the next question is a combined question from two others. It's are you a top? Are you a gold star gay? Hey guys, so this is a last minute redo. I do not know what happened to the original footage that I made, but it's gone. So to answer the question, yes, I'm a top, and I don't say that ever with this whole, hey, look at me, I'm a top, because I started off as a bottom and went to the top, like the rap song says. But I will post the link to a video that I made, my sexual confidence, I believe, and that kind of goes through the journey that I went through in becoming a top. Now, if you've seen that video, the second part of this question, am I a gold star gay? It would be safe for you to say, of course he is. But the truth is, I'm actually not. I have been with a couple of women, and I'm gonna save that for a whole nother video. Okay, number 3 on the list is, what do you consider romantic? What's the most romantic thing you've done? To be honest with you guys, I am a basic, cheesy, romantic guy. To me, romance is supposed to be cheesy, so I kind of lean into the cheesy part of it, if that makes any sense. Just because I think that if someone's being cheesy with me, I don't know, I do find that romantic and special. So that's kind of how I operate in the same way. So like, just thinking of, I don't know, gosh, there was one Valentine's Day where I kind of ordered the ultimate feast from Red Lobster and had that dining room table set up with that, with of course candles and balloons and chocolate covered strawberries and a few gifts. And then I recorded myself singing Angel of Mine by Monica, and so I had that playing in the background. That was kind of like my special gift that I had. Yeah, stuff like that. The next question is no surprise, because I talk about food a lot, but what is your favorite cuisine? What's your favorite food? Okay, I'm a foodie, so I love this question. And I don't know if I've answered this before in another video, but I love Cajun Creole food. That's my jam. Anything with crawfish or shrimp or catfish, red beans and rice, gumbo, jambalaya. Like, I love all that type of flavorful seasoned food. Just like flavors in general, nothing outs me more than talking about flavors that I like, because like one of the top flavors for me is lavender, like a lavender cupcake. Or there's this place in Leonardtown, Maryland called Botanics, where they have a lavender rose latte. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking good. Rose is another flavor that I love, and I tend to gravitate towards flavors that you can add too much and overdo it and kind of kill a dish, you know. And to me, lavender and rose, those are two perfect examples for that. Another one is like rosemary. Like if you put rosemary in something, the funny thing about it is that I can never say there's rosemary. Like I can't pick it out, but for some reason I go, wow, this tastes really good. Like to me, rosemary just ups a dish. It makes it fantastic. Another might be my favorite, but it's truffle. Like truffle, black truffle, white truffle, truffle oil. Again, you can overdo truffle oil. I learned that the hard way. But if there's a truffle pizza or a truffle risotto, I am getting that. I cannot get enough of truffle flavor. Without a doubt, my favorite. So yeah, this next question is a good one. Really good one. What's a major thing that you still need to work on? The answer, I don't think it's going to surprise any of you who have seen most of my other videos, but it's I have trust issues as far as like just letting people in. Now, obviously I have social media and I'm just spilling all the beans, right? It's easy for me to open myself up to people, but it's not easy for me to open myself up to let people in, if that makes any sense. Obviously I'm better than I was yesterday, and I'll be better tomorrow because I'm working on that, but that's something that I've always struggled with. You know, when you're trying to protect yourself and you have all of these different types of walls up, it's hard to, you know, you just can't blow them all up at once, right? So little by little, brick by brick, you work on it, and I'm still working on that. Yeah. This question is even more deeper than I can imagine, but what's your biggest regret? I'm sure I have a video where I've said that every super big bad decision that I've made has led me to where I'm at now, and I love myself and blah 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 blah. And yeah, that may be true, but when I think of regret, I think of I don't know, maybe it's just me, but have you guys ever had like these memories that pop into your head like a few times a year, and it wasn't necessarily like this life-changing moment, but for some reason the memories pop up? Quick short story. One of those memories for me is, I remember with my first boyfriend, there was a weekend where he wanted to take me to either St. Augustine or Daytona. I'm not sure which weekend, what trip it was, but I remember him saying, hey, we're gonna go by my aunt and uncle's house on the way. Do you mind if we stop on the way back? And I was super antisocial, super anxious around his family. So I was kind of like, I kind of don't want to, you know, can we not? So we ended up going to whatever city it was. And on the way back, he was like, hey, can I please like just stop there for a little bit? Like I would feel terrible driving right by their house and not stopping. So I said yes, but didn't really want to. Like I'll be honest with you guys, I was a major B that day. I know why now, but back then I remember like thinking like, what's wrong with you? But I wouldn't even get out the car. I'm like, you just go in, you talk to him, I'll be here. And they were super nice. I remember at one point they came out and said, hey, if you're tired, because I was really tired, if you want to just like take a nap on our bed, you're more than welcome to. But no, of course I couldn't do that. I had to be uncomfortable and stay in my madness. And yeah, so he stayed there for about an hour or so, and you know, we drive back, and I think I gave him the silent treatment if I remember correctly, but there wasn't a massive blowout from it. We ended up, you know, staying together for quite a bit after that. But I think that moment driving back, I remember looking at him and just seeing that he was hurt. Like I hurt him. And I'm not gonna sing, but there's a song that I wrote called Move On, Rock On, and the first line of the song is, I was so used to playing the victim that I never ever thought I could hurt anyone, but I did. I hurt you. Believe me, that was the last thing I wanted to do. And he wrote that song about that moment because that look on his face like kind of stays with me, and that's why I believe that memory keeps coming back to me, because those words are so true. I think up to that point, I was so used to being victimized that I thought that was the only way that any relationship thing could flow with me, you know, would be someone of doing something to hurt me. And that was like a time where, and again, at the time it didn't click, but later on, looking back, I thought, yeah, no, anyone who has your, if you have anyone's heart, then you can hurt them. And so, Mikey, you can hurt someone else, and you hurt him that day. And again, you were a douche, you were a major B, and I know that I was. I know now. And so I think, yeah, maybe the point of me remembering that is just a reminder, just to remember to look after people the way that you want them to look after you. So when I think of regrets, I think of not so much the life-altering moments, but just the little things along the way, little things that I'm not necessarily proud of, but things that I hopefully have learned from. Next question, this is one that I was expecting because I knew that I had some nippy fans out there, but what is your favorite Whitney Houston song? My favorite Whitney Houston song. Isn't it like common, like for anyone who's a fan of anyone, that your favorite song usually tends to be like not their massive hit, but like some obscure song in the end of an album, like, you know, towards the end. For me, my favorite Whitney Houston album, I would say, is I'm Your Baby Tonight. And my favorite song on the album is I Belong to You. The song, I think it was released as a single, but didn't do so well. I think it charted on the R&B charts. But it was just like, I don't know, from the first time that I heard it, it wasn't deep, it wasn't like anything really to it, but just like a cool vibe. I love the way that it flows. I love the singing, because of course she sounds great and everything, but it wasn't like an over the top like gymnastics kind of deal, just like super mellow and cool. And I don't know, I loved it from the first time that I heard it, but it meant even more to me, like, you know, I'll play a little clip of it right now. All of my life I've longed for this. You know, being in the closet, I just wanted to have that moment. All of my life I've longed for this, someone who makes me happy. Let's seal this moment with a kiss. Like, I wanted to know that feeling. And so with the first guy that I dated, I had that feeling. That's exactly what happened to me. Okay, this next question, I really like it. Now, you've mentioned that you are a happy drunk, but can you also be a mean drunk? Okay, so there's part of the comment that I left out. I didn't want to talk about someone's personal stuff, but am I a mean drunk? I can say no, that I'm not. Like, I am extremely happy. I want to have a good time. I get liquid courage, but it's always for good, positive things, or at least fun things. So like, I'm the dude who, like, at the work Christmas party, someone dare me, let's take off our clothes and go polar plunge into the ocean. And I said, let's do it. And I did it. At a Carnival Cruise Line, I had a friend who entered me for the sexiest lip syncing contest, and which is something I never would have done sober, but I did it and I won. I got my little trophy for that. I may or may not have entered a strip contest and won $50. That might have happened, but yeah, stuff like that. Karaoke when I'm drunk, but yeah, I like to do fun stuff like that. I don't think I've never been mean when I'm drunk. That's not me. All right, the next question is, what does without shaking the house mean? So that is the name of the book that I wrote. It's also the name of a song that I wrote. And really what's behind the title is that it's about me being molested. And the apartment where that happened, there was this huge like heavy door that whenever, if anyone entered or exited, it would just slam and the entire house would shake, like the windows would shake. And so what the song is saying is that the person who molested me was invited in. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, so they were able to do what they did to me without shaking the house because they were already in the house. So that's what that means. Okay, this next question is something that I kind of go through with every video that I make, and it's do you consider people's privacy when you make your videos? Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but I do try to respect people's privacy. It really just comes down to, like, I don't want my social media persona to be like that negative going after people type of stuff. I deal with that offline. Yeah, that's not what I want this to be about. And so I have different measures in place. Something that I mentioned before, obviously, the most common thing that I do is just like leave details out that would incriminate someone. But yeah, there are just certain things that I do. I've gotten better over time, and really what I'm going for is that I want to be authentic and genuine and speak my truth enough to the point where I'm for certain that any of those people that I'm talking about, if they're watching the videos, they know that I'm talking about them. But then also they'll say, oh, wait a minute, no one else is gonna know. Like, I want them to think that he's done a good job to where no one could really point their finger at me specifically. That's just how I just want to run my social media life, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I do think about that, and I consider that with every video. Okay, the next question is, what is your racial background? I am Puerto Rican. My parents are both from Puerto Rico. I consider myself to be mixed race, I guess you would say, in America, because, well, genetically I am. I'm like 53% European, 34% African, and like 12% Native American or something like that. But yeah, I am a mixture of different races. But then even just culturally, I've been influenced by so many different cultures that that's who I am. That's what makes me up. And so I consider myself mixed. And next we have you ever outed someone? I don't think I've ever spoken about that, but I love this question because it's a super sensitive topic for me. No, I have never outed anyone. I don't think that I could. Another quick short story, but the first guy that I dated, so we were dating. I ended up going to boot camp. When I got out of boot camp, I went back home, and so he calls me. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're home. And we're just talking, and he goes, I have bad news and I have worse news. So I said, okay, what's the worst news? He goes, the worst news is I kind of been seeing someone else, not serious, but I've been seeing someone else. And I was like, okay, I was hurt, but I'm like, okay, that's okay. So what's the bad news? And he goes, the bad news is I told a mutual friend of ours about us because I felt so alone, because you weren't here. And I went off on him. Like, how dare you? You don't have the right to do that. I'm so pissed off. I never want to speak to you again. Like, that's what pissed me off more than him seeing someone else. Because, again, we weren't exclusive. So that didn't bother me. But I don't know. There's something about I felt violated. Like, I was still very much in the closet. And he was one of a very small list of people who knew. So it was like the fact that I trusted you with this information that I guarded so closely to me, and that you would tell someone, because he knew a lot of people in my life, friends and families. I understood where he was coming from, but still that was my thing to tell, not his. So yeah, I was super pissed, and I would never do that to anyone else. The last question is, what is your love language? To be honest with you, I've heard that said so many times throughout the years, but I never actually took the time to sit down and think about that, or just to go over what they are. So I'm doing this now here with you guys. I pulled it up. And so here are the 5 love languages: words of affirmation or compliments, quality time, gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And I think it's safe to say that we probably all want all of the love languages, and we all want to give all of the love languages to someone that we love, right? So, but if I had to pick like a top one, looking at this, probably acts of service, because that's what I do. So I also appreciate when it's done for me, and I don't know, for me it's like the gifts and stuff like that where you're showing your love, but there's like a banner or like, hey, look at this. I don't know, I really do appreciate more of this subtle, I thought about you kind of things, you know? So like for me, if I'm the type of person that when I'm coming home, I'll stop at the food truck and just get some food, and just so that we don't have to worry about what we're gonna eat, or, you know, just I'm thinking about you. So, oh, while I'm living my life, let me do this little thing along the way. To me, that means more than anything that's more like overtly like, hey, let me show this, let me express this. Just a everyday kind of, I think about you, you're in my life as I'm living it, that kind of stuff. Not only do I think I do that, I hope I do, but I think I appreciate that the most when people do that for me too. And not just in a romantic sense, but even like on a friendship level. That's kind of, I think that's my deal. I would say, yeah. Okay guys, that's it. Lucky 13. We had 13 questions. Actually, I had a couple more, but I think I'm just gonna do full videos for those, and so I just decided to save that for then. But this has been a blast for me. Like I think out of all of my videos, I was so looking forward to making this one, just because, again, the fact that anyone gives a darn about me in that kind of way. I'm not gonna say that, I don't even know what to say, just that I'm touched beyond. And no, I'm not gonna cry on this one. So please, like would be great, subscribe would be better, but comment and let me know what you think of this video. If there are any questions that you didn't get to ask or want to ask, I'll keep it open. So until next time, bye.